Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, Australia's juiciest gaming podcast. We are back, and I am Zach Jackson, and joining me is Nathan Hennessy.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Mr. Adam Ryan.
Hello, that's me.
And a very special friend, very special guest, Ralph Panabianco.
Hello. Well, absolutely nailed the last name. Well done. Love to see it.
Just had to deadpan it right there.
You can see his anxiety.
Exactly right. None of that Italian top spin on it. Just keep it straight, and that's it. Straight in 180 on the delivery, and you're safe as houses.
Smooth. Good to have you back on. How you been?
Yeah, it's been a while actually. When was the last time? I can't remember. What was the last game we talked about?
Oh God, it has been a hot minute.
Has been a hot minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but it's been good. I don't know if did we have a website? Were we competitors the last time we spoke?
No.
I don't think we were.
No, I don't think. I think
now
you were still cooking under the hood.
That's right. Yeah. So we did launch the website last year, thisweekinvideogames.com, and it's been great. Really loving it. Just good feedback from people, and it's a whole new challenge to be kind of working on a website. I don't run it. It's run by another guy called Edmund Tran. But obviously I'm involved in it in terms of like content and all that sort of stuff. But it's been, just really fun because I don't know, I really believe in websites. I think they're important. I think they need to continue to exist, even though the landscape's very hostile. I think they play an important part in this overall ecosystem. They're the originators of a lot of the, the work that eventually YouTubers like me aggregate and turn into video form. So I was interested in, helping create some of that source material. So we've got 2 full-time staff. We're about to hire a third. And it's all been going really well. It's all just ticking over. So
yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, sorry, go on.
Well, I was just gonna say because I know that when we spoke off air, you'd been working on it for quite a while, so it took a while to launch.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like a thought bubble, maybe 2 years before we actually launched it, and then managed to wrangle Ed over, which was very lucky timing because soon after he left, the website got bought up by crypto gambling interests anyway, because he used to run Games Hub. And then, obviously, and that's actually just reporting that came out today in Aftermath about how that all works and what have you. But so anyway, he escaped out of there like Indiana Jones with his hat and then came over to us. And, he's been doing just fantastic work. We worked on it for about 18 months behind closed doors, just sort of building and refining it and testing it with a small group and yada, yada. Eventually put it out there. And as I said, we hit enough paid subscribers for it to be financially sustainable on its own with no ads, no sponsorship, just straight up and down kind of, just that's it, and I think people really value that, I think people really value just a place where they can go that they know it's just going to tell how it is, no outside influence, and also not trying to over dramatize things and be clickbaity, because I think when you're playing that game, obviously it warps your content. Your headlines are way more sort of, crazy than they might need to be because you feel like you're playing the SEO game. And we don't really have to care about that because we're really just trying to service our audience rather than trying to get clicks through, Google algorithm.
Nice.
So so far so good.
Excellent. The question is, are you on Metacritic?
Well, we've been invited to Metacritic in the past. But we've said no because only because we don't score games.
Yeah, right.
And it's awkward. So we're on OpenCritic because they don't require you to score. You can just be like recommend or not recommend, and they're okay with that. But we're not on Metacritic because they want us to give a number. And I just think it's not really compatible with how we talk about games. And there's benefits to being on Metacritic. I would like to be on Metacritic for sure. It's nice. But the flip side to that is that we really have to sort of start talking about video games in a different way. And I fucking hate that conversation where someone's like, you gave this game an 8 out of 10, but this one a 7.5, when clearly the 7.5 is better. What's the deal? It's like, dude, no, I can't. So for that reason, no, we will not be on Metacritic.
Well, we might as well just fucking close the website then because we got ads and scores, mate.
You copping strays down there, Zach? Oh boy!
No, this is the thing, right?
I'm kidding.
Just to be super clear, I am not. I would never judge a website that does have that runs on a different model, because let's be super clear. I've been very fortunate to like have a platform, and that's the only way that I've been able to create a website. That doesn't work. Like, there's no way I could have done this if I was just starting from scratch. I'd absolutely have to do an ad model from scratch, right? And then you make the best go of it you can. So I never ever sort of look down on any website or judge any website or whatever about that, because that is the business model that works for the realities of that, of what this is. But as I said, we didn't want to go down that way, and I think we were fortunate enough to have that platform where we could sort of sidestep it. But I mean, you guys do fantastic work, and you're always honest with your audience, and whether you got ads or not, you know what I mean. And I think your website's also quite lean in terms of you're not spamming ads. Like, I don't know, like there's some websites you go to, you can't fucking read them. You just can't, Whereas I think you guys have got a really good balance on it. So I've never had a problem visiting WellPlayed, never.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's nice to hear.
We'll take it.
We will take it. All right. Adam, Nathan, quickly, how are you?
Look, I don't want to spin my wheels, man. We've got juicy content to get into. I'm going to say one thing only. It's going to be a question. Does anyone else here struggle with fucking gastric reflux? Yeah, my boys, a little bit of the good. No,
I'm good. I'm all right.
You keep your vomit and your bile where it belongs. Damn, man.
Is this a sponsored segue?
Are
you about to sell me quickies?
Nah, man. The quickies is not cutting it anymore. I need something stronger. I thought you might be able to hook me up. Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Lord above. And I'm fine, mate. My gastric health is fine, in case you were wondering. Yeah, I'm good. But now let's get stuck into it, mate. We got heaps.
We do have heaps to talk about. We're going to talk about Resident Evil Requiem. I think I said that weird. We're also going to talk about Crimson Desert and maybe a little bit of Marathon and whatever else gets thrown in between. Very quickly, anything off you very quickly that you've played you want to talk about before we jump into the juicy stuff? I'll kick us off just to get us going. But I checked out Replaced, the demo on the Steam Next Fest, and I thought it was pretty fucking cool. I don't know if anyone else has played it. It's that pixel art. It looks fantastic. Yeah, pixel art, side scrolling, like like hack and slash beat 'em up kind of thing, but it's like mix of John Wick and stuff as well. There's some really cool stuff in it. Yeah, I'm keen to check out that game when it comes out. That's pretty much me, other than content.
All right, Super Swift. I have played and finished, and hoped Ash would be here to riff on it. He's not, so we'll keep it swift. Thank goodness you're here.
Ah, banger.
You're here. The little 2-hour British comedy thing set in the 80s. Silly little game. I love that it's basically 2 buttons, jump and punch. And so in order to interact with something, jumping doesn't work. So you're just going to punch it and the game will just respond to your punches. Yeah. Because you're a little antisocial yellow dude about yay tall. It's just such a hilarious little game. I sat there giggling because I've not been exposed to that level of like monkeys-esque humor, that specific brand of British humor in a while, and this just distills 2 hours of it, and it's riotous. I couldn't get over it. Smile on my face the whole time, but so short. Yeah,
it's the perfect length. It's like distilled stupidity in the best way. It's a good time. Very, very good.
See what these folks do next. Yeah.
Nice. Ralph, you checked out anything from Steam Next Fest or whatnot?
No, I was so many things this week, because obviously there was Resident Evil, there was Crimson Desert preview, there was the Marathon thing, there was also Pokemon Pocopia.
Oh boy, yeah,
yep. And what else? There was just a lot. So short answer, no Steam Next Fest, which I'm really bummed about, because I always make time for Next Fest. I always want to check stuff out. I just didn't get a chance this year. It was just fully February. I've always hated that they do it in February, because it's typically a pretty stacked month for games media, and so yeah, I just it was another one of those times,
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
Feel that. All right. Well, I know what you have been playing, and that is Resident Evil Requiem. You loved it, from what I understand. But I have a question for you. To be honest, I haven't watched your video yet. I haven't actually read any other reviews, I don't think. But I know that we've talked maybe off air.
You know that I read your review, Zach. You know I make the time to consume your content. You know that, don't you?
Oh, one-sided relationship.
Because I value you as a person and I value your creative output. So you know that I went out of my way to do that. Correct?
I am planning to watch it. I just haven't had a chance to sit down.
Oh no, I believe you.
I haven't read anything. Hey, okay, well, let's talk. You know, you got a little cheeky look at mine, so let's
I did. That's right. I got the inside scoop on that one.
No, I want to ask because I don't know if we've talked about this before, and if we have, I've forgotten because I'm obviously terrible. But how much of a Resident Evil fan are you, and where would you rank like the top 3 RE games that you've played if you've played them, which I assume you have?
Yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't, because there's like Resident Evil fans, and then there's like, I'm just like a normal person. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like sitting and studying. I'm not studying the lore. I'm not like doing all that sort of shit. I'm just like, I'm playing all of them that come out and I'm enjoying them. Almost all of them. And I think I haven't played Revelations, right?
Okay. Yep.
And I think because there's Revelations 1 and 2, isn't there?
Yep.
Yeah. So I haven't played either of the Revelations games, but all of the other mainline entries I have played. Yes. And I was playing them back on the PSX era, like back in the day kind of thing. So, where would I rank them if you were to pick them up today? Right? Like obviously I think 2 and 4, right? That's it, obviously. I think, back in the day, I was actually a real sucker for Nemesis because I really liked the whole, chasing thing. And obviously it wasn't as good as 2, like that was incredibly breakthrough, but I just really enjoyed it. I was never much of a 4 guy back in the day, actually. I just didn't really click with me because I guess I really enjoyed the 2 as like the survival horror thing much more than the action thing back then. But certainly now, like replaying 4 with the remake, and my perspective has shifted. I actually I rate 7 super highly.
Okay.
I think it was like really risk taking and interesting, and it brought the franchise back. But it didn't just be like, hey, remember this guy that you already know and like, and remember this place you've been to. It was very much like, we're going to bring it back and we're going to really take a big swing with it. So I would say, in terms of how I rank it, it's like, 2, like the original 2 and the remake. I think it's 4, and I think it's 7. And I didn't really click with 8, even though it was like a good game. I just didn't.
Okay.
Interesting. Eclectic mix.
Yeah. No. Well, that kind of leads into, I guess, this, because I think this has hit the top 3 for me. I think this sits 2, 4, and then this. I think I reckon RE Remake 1 would probably be 3rd, but I feel like it's old, even though it's still awesome. But I think this was a really good mix. And 7, you talk about those Resident Evil fans. I'm probably one of those people. Like when 7 came out, I was like, "Oh fuck this! I'm not going to play that. Like, you're not going to. They give me a new character, first person.
Where's Leon?
Yeah, where's Leon?
Yeah.
But I really, really did like the opening, or the first half of that game. I thought that was very, very, very cool. And then I thought the back half it just did that thing that they do too often. Like with 5.
They don't know how to land it. It's like they're like Marvel movies. Like they got a really cool setup, and they're like, well. Guess it's time for a CG battle. All right, let's settle it that way. Like it's just always the same with Resident Evil. It's like, well, I guess it's time for an underground lab and a big mutated monster battle. Okay, fair enough. So yeah.
But I thought Requiem had a really, really good mix of. I think Grace's scenes had a really good mix of 7, like the tight scares and the real tense moments that had, but also the first person kind of action that Village did have. Maybe not quite as actiony, but that kind of good feeling. I think the gunplay in 7 was a bit average. I think in 8 they kind of had it like feel a lot better. I think that's where that with Grace, and I think Leon is just like a good mix of 2 and 4.
I agree. I think I wouldn't. Yeah. So I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's great, and my like low key prediction on Requiem is I don't think it's going to like age as well as the rest of the franchise, because I think that all of those other games really swung for something unique and different and interesting in their own rights, right? Like 2 was so breakthrough back in the day for so many reasons. And I think even 2 Remake was quite breakthrough in its own way because it kind of reinterpreted that classic survival horror formula. It wasn't just like, let's freshen up the graphics and make it, a third-person camera. Like there was a lot more thought put into it, just with the way that zombies moved and combat and puzzle redesign and storytelling and all that sort of stuff, right? So it was really brilliant. And then I think obviously 4 back then was one of the most influential games ever made, really. And then, 4 Remake, I think, kind of just captured that essence and took it to a new level in terms of polish and control schemes, cinematic presentation, again, tightening up storytelling. I think 7 and 8 were really interesting games because they took those swings and they were very different, and you can't get what they're selling like anywhere else in the series,
Yeah.
So I think though, and then I think 3, I don't know, 3 is complicated for a bunch of reasons, but I don't know. Yeah. Bottom line though, I just think Requiem is very self-referential, whereas it's kind of looking back to the past and kind of and remixing the past rather than giving you I think it's doing that so much that it stops it from really being that kind of breakthrough, like, oh my god, yes, they've really cracked something here. This felt to me like a victory lap rather than the next phase of Resident Evil or something else. And I think it was perfect because this is the 30-year anniversary of the franchise this year. It's the perfect victory lap in that context. But I'm already seeing the hardcore Resident Evil fans like not super chuffed with it. They're complaining about linearity. They're complaining about some of the story choices. They're complaining about that feeling of just like, it's kind of sniffing its own farts, So I personally wouldn't put it in the top 3.
Okay.
I would put it alongside Resident Evil 3 after 2, 4, 7, and 8. As I said, even though I didn't particularly like 8, I just think I still respect 8 a lot for what it was trying to do. That's kind of where I landed.
I think because 2 is probably my favorite game of all time, right? So that's
really
yeah. So I get a bit torn where I do if I prefer the remake or the OG, and I go, you just like new and shiny things, you little bitch. Like, why you like the remake better? Like, but no, I think what the remake did with that game is really, really good, and I think a lot of what you talk about is why I think I like this game so much, because I'm happy for this chapter to close now in a way. Like, I think if we don't get any more Leon, like, I'm satisfied, because I think how much more can you
No, I reckon there's a whole other arc you could do with Leon for sure.
Yeah, but
he's got his Logan arc. I reckon he's got his Logan arc.
No, I'm trying to. I think without making it a full action game is kind of what I mean. Like, how do you make it Resident Evil still, but with having Leon being this super soldier that he is now? Like, in Requiem,
Logan arc.
But that would be a say, like, he's not that guy anymore. If you were to make him so kind of weak and broken, and he has to find he's like, that would be kind of cool.
He's got holes in his leather jacket.
No, my man, come on, you can do it. You're like crying. You're like, come on, Leon, man, you're all right. You just get up,
He can't start the chainsaw anymore,
dude. It would get you. It would get all of us. I reckon that's a Game of the Year nominee right there. That's Oscar bait shit right there.
Yeah, right.
Dream a little, Zach.
I mean, I'm back on board.
I hear what you're saying though about like this arc. I get you in terms of like, and I think it makes sense for the series to take a break from this now, because I think that is one of the strengths of Resident Evil. It doesn't kind of wallow in its own success for too long. It kind of like, cool, that worked. Let's make sure we try something else to keep things fresh. So I don't imagine we're going to see that Logan story, or any other Leon story next. I think it's rumored they're doing Code Veronica. And then, the next mainline entry, who knows? But I mean, there's so much more. I suspect they're going to seal this part off for a while. And if they want to reopen it later, they can. But I think I'm on the same page as you. It's time to explore something else.
Yeah, and I know that we spoke privately, but you didn't love Grace as much as I did. I think
she was okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more that she has a connection to the series. I think that's what made me kind of be like, oh yeah, I want to play her. Whereas I didn't really get around Ethan at all. Even
no,
like he's just whatever. He's just there.
He's literally the worst video game character in the history of video games.
And this series has a collection of characters that often just get left behind. Like there's different like Chiva from RE5, and then there's a bunch of players from RE6. You're looking at Rebecca and stuff from RE0. So there's a bunch of characters that they just kind of leave. But I really quite like Grace, and I thought the voice actor, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, sorry, but I thought she played her really, really, really well. And I think her
it was amazing
performance kind of added to the tension and to the fear factor. Like it, because when I was playing, I didn't quite feel like too scared, but then when she was kind of in fright and stuff like that, I was like, oh fuck, like, you know, I was starting to panic kind of thing. So I thought she did a really good job.
However, on that, I have a quick mechanical question, because I understand that her half is kind of the more horror forward, and then Leon is kind of the more action oriented. And I know you can play in first person and third. So I've got a two-parter. A, is it a 50-50 split? Like how much time are we spending with both of these characters? And B, can you set a perspective for each of the characters in the settings? Because I want to play as Grace in first person.
Yeah, so the game basically, when you boot the game up, I think it comes up with the thing like, this is the way that we've intended it to be played. Grace in first person, Leon in third person. If you don't want to do that, you can switch it up, right? I flicked it to Grace in third person for maybe like a minute, and I was like, nah. And went back to first person, and then I left it. And
seeing her run, she runs like... like it's just bad. Her running animation, because she's like so slow, but her running animation is fully animated and it looks ridiculous.
She's giving it everything.
Does. And it just
I love that.
Like it really took away some of that the immersion in sort of like the horror aspect. Leon, I didn't even try first person, if I'm being honest, because like,
why would you?
I've got to look at that man, you know. So but just very, very quickly, so this game is set about 30 years after the events of the Raccoon City incident in RE3, where they dropped the bomb and kind of nuked the whole city. The two characters here is Grace Ashcroft, who's the daughter of Alyssa from the spin-off series Outbreak. Ralph, did you play Outbreak?
I actually didn't play Outbreak. Yeah, that's another one I forgot about. Yep.
I quite like those games. I would love for them to do like an Outbreak game in the future, but they told me that they won't. So anyway, yes, and she's an FBI agent, and the game kind of opens with you playing events from the past where Alyssa is murdered. Spoilers, sorry. And you then are sent to this hotel where your mother was actually murdered. What are the odds? And there's been a bunch of strange deaths are occurring at this thing, and then you essentially get kidnapped by this new villain who I actually think is really, really good, and I think his cutscenes are really entertaining. Almost like a Far Cry villain type thing. Like I was quite hooked on how like there was a scene where he's whispering into someone's ear in a moment. I was like, this is really fucking good. Almost too good.
Better than the other guy. Better than the other villain.
Yes. Which we
won't get into him without spoiling, because it's spoiler free. But mate, he was great.
No, he wasn't good.
Interesting.
I can't say that because that might be a spoiler, so I won't say that.
Yeah.
But so then that's part of it, and then Leon is dealing with his own illness of sorts, and then he essentially is investigating some deaths that have occurred with that are connected to the Raccoon City survivors, and he ends up chasing or going to find this person that's kidnapped Grace, and then they end up together in the same thing, and that's where the game kind of plays out from there. Capcom love a bloody they love a fancy opening room, don't they? Like that kind of hallway
or no, you mean the alleyway, like on the street level? You mean?
Oh well, that's the very. I mean the medical place.
That first level I thought was fantastic. I really loved that. Yeah, it felt like the Lady Dimitrescu's castle. It felt like Raccoon City Police Department. Like they really kind of just set you up. They're like, cool, we know what you want, we got you, here we go. And then after that, it kind of sprawls out a lot. But that first thing is very much like, let's give the fans what they want. And I think they crushed it.
Yeah, I think, and I really enjoyed the very first part where you go to the hotel. I thought that was actually pretty terrifying. Like some of the lighting and like with the curtains going in the wind, like it looked. This game looks amazing. Like the RE engine is a beautiful engine. The hair is, mate.
Yeah, it's good.
The hair is beautiful. They're
Leon's drapes. Thank God.
They get a little bit sweaty at times though. But yeah, no, I thought that opening street. I mean, and also, can I just say, Leon Kenny driving a Porsche? If I was fucking loaded, I would drive a Porsche. Skill up, do you
Mate,
have a
that's
Porsche?
you know how much that Porsche is worth? 400 grand.
Jesus Christ! What are they paying the man?
That's what I said. I'm like, he's a government employee, isn't he? Like, Jesus, what's going on here? Anyway, he must be on some serious scratch. Good on him.
He's running crypto ads. That's what he's doing.
Right. That's right.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really good mix. The first half is very horror heavy, and then the back half is kind of a bit Leon heavy, which I think is probably the only downside I would say. But I didn't really find it too much of a downside because I quite like. I thought Leon's the action parts there. I thought that was super well designed. The combat is super satisfying. Like every time those guns are actually, I will say. And I actually forgot to mention this in the review, but the gun that you can upgrade to, did you get all the guns in the end?
I did, yeah.
It's a fucking little piss sweet gun, isn't it? Like it's got
Mate,
no pack.
That was I was so disappointed with pistol upgrade. I really wanted a good pistol upgrade that was like, yeah, this one's the good one, right? And instead the other one, this one's just like, this one's another one. Like it just was nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Didn't even have any didn't you have any meat behind it? I think I was playing with Anna and she goes, that gun's a bitch gun, basically. Like that's such a
Leon wouldn't waste his time with it, but you don't get enough ammo for the. You can't really.
No, so he actually does have a gun called the Requiem, which is like a Magnum revolver, and it is glorious to shoot from. It feels super good. Yeah, it is a beast. And ever the good bloke, he chucks it to Grace. So Grace does.
It's bigger than her.
Yeah,
she can barely pick it up.
She does have a good weapon, dealing with some of the stuff. But one thing I really, really liked that they did in this game, and when I interviewed them, they kind of talked about this. They had tweaked the stalker mechanics, because I think going back and playing 2, like a while back, I was like, this bloody Mr. X he's fucking annoying. He is annoying. And I think they've got a really good balance here of it not being too like just annoying. I think it's it shows up enough that you can kind of that it makes you shit your pants a bit, but then also doesn't stop you from exploring, because I think that's what kind of happened with Mr. X a little bit, is it kind of puts you off from actually kind of trying to explore and do all of that stuff because you're just running away the whole entire time. But I really quite liked how they designed the stalker mechanics here. Yeah.
I think it's a really solid game. I think that people complain about the length of a Resident Evil game. This discourse happens every time a Resident Evil game comes along, because they're always around 10 hours long, except for 4, which was longer. It was like 15 plus. But everyone's like, what? I'm so surprised. It's like, why are you surprised? They're all this long. And look, I can totally understand how someone looks at that and says, oh, that's not worth, 110 Aussie or whatever. Totally fair. That's all good. Makes sense. But I think it is the kind of thing where you want to put on your wish list and you want to, grab it on sale. It's really worth experiencing at a price point that's right for you, I think. But I would also say, only get this if you're a Resident Evil fan. This is not a game to buy if you're not an existing fan, because it's so self-referential. It's calling back to the past so much. Places you've been, characters you've met, bosses you've fought, scenarios you've done before. All of that is lost on you if you are playing it as your first Resident Evil game. So do not buy this off the jump. Buy 2, and then buy 4, and then buy this, and you're all set. That's what I'd say.
Good shout.
Good shout. One last thing I want to touch on very quickly, because I know that we had divided opinions on this, but that's the story. I thought for a Resident Evil story, I thought it was actually relative. It was pretty interesting. They're not. Yes.
Not even slightly divided opinions. We're on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Again, like I don't think it's necessarily good, but I think for an RE story, I was pretty invested.
I've never subscribed to the idea of like, for this thing, it's not bad. I'm always like, well, there's a good story or there's a bad story. Like if this was on television, you'd be like, this is the worst show I've ever seen in my life. If this was a book, you'd be like, I'm shredding this book. But if as a video game, you're like, you know what? It's not that bad, And I just have never applied that to a video game before. So I think it's not good at all. I think it's bad. And I'm really disappointed because it opens really strongly. It could be cool. It's got a really strong open, like a mystery and an FBI agent, and then you have to look at case files and whatever. And then all that just like gets pushed to the side, and it's just like go forward down these corridors, and there's weird villains which I can't spoil, and then the whole thing ends all of a sudden where it kind of reveals itself all in one fell swoop, and you're like, oh, that's it, and the game's over then, you know. So I'm not about it. No.
To try and find like a guiding light as to what you two are on about. If I enjoyed the story of say 7 and 8, am I likely to enjoy this, or it's like a steep decline from there?
I think ballpark. I don't know if you think different, Zach. I think it's the same sort of
it's
ballpark.
Yeah, I liked it because I think it put a sort of a different, if we're gonna go tennis terms, different spin on the Resident Evil story. If that kind of makes sense. I'm trying not to say much without saying much, right? And I quite like that, just that little bit, right? And it'll make sense for if you've played it. And but I did enjoy that. There's a couple of questionable decisions for sure that I think, you know, as you rightly said, that have probably divided fans. Like that does not surprise me at all. But yeah, I didn't think it was dog shit.
I think it's bad. But I know the Resident Evil fans will be very mad that I said that. But like, look, I love the game. I love Resident Evil. It just, let's be real though. The stories are not great. They're generally not great. I think like 4 actually has a surprisingly good story because of its weird characters and stuff. Like, it's a very character-led thing rather than like plot. But like, broadly speaking, the story of Resident Evil games is not like why you're playing Resident Evil games.
No,
unless you're really into the lore or some shit and you're like taking notes as you go. You know?
Yeah. And the very last bit that I will sign off on is that this game has a really shit save theme music, and that really bummed me out. And
I totally agree with you. You were right to call that out in your review, to be honest. You were spot on. I think you were the only person I could comment on that, and I'm like, he's 100% right. 100%.
Yeah, well, they've always had really strong, like...
Yeah, I agree.
Those bits of music, and it's just really like, it's nothing. And like, I think half time it doesn't even play because of like where you are.
I didn't notice that. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
no,
like,
fair enough.
yeah, like that's what I mean. It's so basic that I don't think I noticed it half the time. Whereas you know, you play like RE1 remake. That's my favorite. That is my alarm tone in the morning. That's the one I get up to, right? You know, when you go into that remake, the text that says it's like a warm light. Something like it's like a warm calming light, and that just kind of is what that music kind of gives you. This just gives you fucking nothing. Anyway, I loved it. 9.5 out of 10. The 0.5 is for the save theme music.
Nice, solid,
nice.
Very good. Ralph, you like to go check out his video, as I will be doing as soon as I can.
Oh sure, no, I believe you. You'll get right on that. You'll get right on that.
I'll leave a comment. There you go.
Okay,
comment.
There you go.
For the algorithm. Alrighty. That's not the only thing that we've got to talk about. We've also got Crimson Desert, which both Nathan and Ralph have played, thanks to Play On. Who wants to take it away, Nathan?
How does this conversation go shorter than Resident Evil? Because I haven't played Resident Evil, but this game has got every fucking video game in it. Like, where do we start? Probably start at the start. So, I've had the privilege of playing 6 hours of Crimson Desert, 4 hours taken from the very start of the game. I don't know how unedited it is from the start of the game, because I'm of the opinion or hope that there is a couple of key bits missing plot-wise. I'll explain.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Oh, don't tell me that.
No, I can't imagine. It just they never offered that caveat. They would have told us if that's the case. I'm pretty sure this is just basically a review build we played, or pretty close to it, you know?
Bro, well, I'm going to have to explain what I mean then. So we start with Cliff. I'm loving the way that
there's another character called Cliff.
You're thinking of Are you thinking of Clive from Final
Fantasy? I was hoping
Sorry.
that we were going to think of Clive, because that was the point I was going to make.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is with these? We can't call them RPGs, but like these Eastern games with their like protagonist characters crack me up. So we've had Clive, we get Cliff now, but it's Cliff with a K.
Yep, it is.
Yep. So
Cliff, what a cool dude.
Okay, you know?
So we start off with Cliff. I'm sorry, I'm going to start a bit blurry, but Cliff is a member of the Grey Mains faction, which is this kind of proto-Viking clan set in this very big continent, and we're introduced to Cliff at a burial mound. It turns out his leader has been murdered by a rival faction called the whatever the fucks. bear beards or some shit.
Bear beards.
The black bears. The black bears.
No,
They're barbarians. They're barbarians. And with a couple of flash forwards or flashbacks, we have to piece together that the fucking black bears have killed your leader. It immediately sparks a war. Without any kind of transition, we're forced into a battle scene. We're given our combat tutorial. And then that wraps up where Cliff gets his throat slit, chucked in a river, and then he wakes up. After a little sequence, he wakes up next to some fishermen, gets, chucked his boots on, and off he goes. And that's kind of as much as we're given as far as stakes in this game. And this is going to be at least a 40-hour game. And I'm a little bit perturbed by the fact that I think our stakes are Daddy got killed. We got to go beat up the bullies now. And I'm not quite sure.
I don't think. I mean, I didn't. The story that I got was Cliff gets murdered at the start, right?
Brutally, yes.
Brutally, very brutally. Okay, and then he's alive all of a sudden, and then it's kind of just like he's alive, and then I was just doing some bullshit, like quest. But like I was in the mindset that they're like, look, they're just slowly easing you into this world. The grand quest awaits. Clearly, you've got some higher purpose and whatever. And you're meeting NPCs that are giving you magic powers and all sort of shit. So I think they're just taking a very slow burn approach to the story. Whether or not that story is actually going to be good, though, I don't have a good feeling about that. But I do think there is going to be that kind of, and I've seen trailer stuff that they've shouted out their storyline and whatever else. So like I think it's going to be there when it gets to the full thing for sure.
So in those 4 hours, though, we weren't really introduced to the stakes of what would occupy us for the following 10 times the amount of hours. But what we do is a main quest line that consists of a series of side quests where we get introduced to a local duchy. This is a medieval fantasy game, and so we're going to be steeped in a lot of very like European medieval themes by the looks of it, and everyone's dressed up appropriately. When we head into the duchy, the local town, we're told that we're not going to have entry until we either look respectable, so there's a little bit of, or at least we're alluded to the fact that we're going to have to adjust clothing depending on the society and the social norms, but also you're going to have to rely on faction reputation, because it seems like, I don't know if you saw, Ralph, but almost every single NPC I interacted with, even if I just like pushed them over and kicked them, would have a reputation consequence. They all belong to a faction, even if that faction is like peasantry, which is cool on the surface. And then I got to like open up a map and zoom out and see the faction map, and the faction map is like 100 different zones of various colors and strata. So I'm cool about that. But then there's another thing this game has, is it has a billion different systems going on, and I don't know quite how to broach that, because over the first 4 hours you're introduced to a lot of them, but you realize there's maybe not a whole lot of depth there. And the one that I used as an example when I was talking to the developers is that we've got a UI that looks like an open world action game UI, and you've even got a little temperature read and time of day and everything. And I thought, cool, because this game's going to have things like fire propagation. Light some dry grass on fire, it spreads, or hold your arrow over a brazier, it lights on fire. I love that shit. And also, you shoot ice arrows at a lake and you create little frozen platforms. That's cool. But if it's 50 degrees outside, your equipment's not going to like take damage. You're not going to take damage. If it's minus 20 degrees, you're not going to start freezing, anything like that. So there's a lot of systems representation, but maybe not a lot of depth there, at least on initial impressions. Kick it over to yourself there, Ralph. Is there anything that kind of stood out to you as, because we spend the first 4 hours, most of it kind of like just doing fetch quests for peasants and stuff like that, very Kingdom Come Deliverance coded. Is there anything that kind of stood out to you in the first 4 hours?
Oh man, yes, a lot.
And
look, I think I should preface all this by saying is like, my gut feeling is this is going to be a good game in its own weird way, right?
In its own weird way.
In its own way. And I think it's like, Dragon's Dogma has been brought up a lot as a comparison point. I think it's very useful because like Dragon's Dogma has a shit storyline and a shit main campaign, and it's pretty buggy, and the gameplay model is pretty threadbare, but like there's just something about it that's just good, you know what I mean? And it doesn't appeal to everyone, but like it appeals to a certain type of player. It definitely appealed to me, and I was into it. I was really into Dragon's Dogma, in fact. So I'm getting the vibe that this is the same sort of thing. It's kind of a sandboxy driven game where you're making your own fun in a way. Like, obviously, it has a big grand quest. 2 developers told me we should expect 60 hours of game length, but they told me they were guessing. So I suspect that they kind of know, but they're not allowed to say it. But they said something, and it feels like a 60-hour game, right?
We've been given different advice.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, either way, it's going to be a long-ish game. It's not 20 hours,
definitely,
right?
Yeah,
definitely.
So, I get the feeling that you're going to romp through it, and there's going to be high points and low points. But I think that certainly those first 4 hours are not great, and I just probably want to set that up. I think that the quests that you're on are kind of boring. The weird jumping platform stuff that you had to do in the sky, that block that was moving slowly and you needed to wait like a full minute for it to come back. It's like, I couldn't believe. I'm like, what is happening here? Like, there's just so many. There's puzzles that are so poorly explained. The developers had to keep coming up to everyone to talk them through solutions because the game was not explaining what it wanted you to do. Like, like a reasonable person could not have figured that stuff out, I would say. Right? And everyone's going to say, game.
I feel like this would have benefited from some yellow paint at times, just a little bit of an indicator. I'm sorry.
But everyone's going to meme and they're going to be like, game journalism is so dumb. It's like, bro, we play video games every fucking day of our lives, okay? Like, there's no other game that I've experienced an opening 4-hour chapter where I've had a developer had to sort of like point at things on the screen as much as this demo. And I was not alone in that. Like, the room was that. And also when we had lunch, we talked about it with other people and they all said the same thing. No one was saying the game was bad. People were just saying that, like, early on, it's not explaining itself well. There's so many new systems. Mate, this memory helmet thing. Oh my God, this memory helmet. It's such a weird thing. Like, the game piles on so many unnecessary systems. Like, you know how, like, in a game, typically when it wants you to see a memory, you just walk up to a thing and there's like a little orb, you just touch it, and then the memory plays in front of you and you see the events of the past. Okay, that's how
talking and shit.
That's how every single game does it. Not Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert, you find this helmet that looks like
it's a big gold cauldron.
It looks like the Rocketeer helmet from like that's the 2000s movie I should have gone with. God damn it. Anyway, so Rocketeer helmet, and then you put it on, and then you need to like go into the menu by pressing a button, and then you have to tab over to another menu. Then you have to press R2 to equip this helmet, and then you need to close that menu and then reopen it straight away. And then mouse over the helmet, and that boots up another menu that allows you to scroll through like all of the memories, and that's how you eventually find the memory. And then you click play, and then it plays. It's like, bro, you could have just given us a thing to click on. Why are we doing this? But unfortunately, the game has like a few of these systems that feel belabored and unnecessary and poorly explained, and just kind of crowd things. So again, I don't want this to be interpreted as, oh, Crimson Desert looks bad, because I definitely quirky is a good word, I think, because I reflect on like some of the games that we grew up with, and a lot of them were janky and poorly explained and like full of bullshit, and it didn't work, but they ended up being bangers. Who cares? So I secretly suspect that's where Crimson Desert will land. But all I can say right now is that those first 4 hours, not good. And if you just have to be ready to like log into this thing and be like, oh, okay, all right, well, guess we'll do that. Having said that, we did play 2 hours of endgame content, right? And that's where things were notably better. Like, we fought some really cool endgame bosses, and you had more access to weapons and combat abilities.
System opens the fuck up.
Totally. It's like a character action game in terms of, it's not about the difficulty, by the way, because I was able to kind of button mash my way through these endgame bosses. It's about how much mastery you have over the combat. It's more of a character action game. But, you could see its potential, and you could see the spectacle of those encounters. You could see some of the endgame locations. You could see this really cool mech puzzle boss that we were able to do as well, which was like very just fun to watch. And then there was also just the open world stuff where you were riding around on a dragon, and you had other playable characters that you could just switch to in an instant, and they all have their own storylines, gear and combat styles. And like, it's just, the map is massive, the visuals are incredible. There's just so much there, man. And so like, overall, net, I'm excited for this. I truly am. But I did not have much fun in that first 4 hours. That's what I will say.
Yeah, you got to eat your vegetables early on.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. That's
So,
exactly right.
I think, Ralph, you may have kind of answered the question already, but because this seems like feature creep the game. Like every time I've seen it, they're like,
Yes,
look
absolutely.
at this new thing that you can do. So particularly in the latter half of your preview, did it seem like you just kind of engage with particularly the combat abilities that you just gravitate towards, or is it forcing you to use this insane arsenal of different abilities and mechanics and shit?
What do you think, Ned?
My opinion's the latter. Only because the devs would keep tapping me on the shoulder going, mate, like, you need to put elements on your weapons, switch your weapons out, get better armor. Like, they were really, like Ralph said, it's going to require mastery. You are, and there is also a lot of systems under the hood with the I won't say a lot, but there are systems under the hood with the combat as well. I think there were at least 6 elements that you could apply to combat that would also exploit enemy weaknesses. There are also systems with having to, you know, sometimes gets a little Shadow of the Colossus with one of the boss fights. We have to dismantle armor pieces and target like weak points. But then when you're targeting weak points, you're having to input special combo commands because you can't just hit a thing. You've got to pierce it in a certain way. It's almost, it's not Dark Souls, but you are able to like switch up. So normally your left hand might hold a shield, switch it out for another bladed weapon. All of a sudden we're dual wielding and it feels organic. I love how organic the combat in this feels. You press a button and it just intuitively knows that it's that specific dude out of 16 guys 14 meters away that you want to glide towards. The game just knows, and it just seamlessly, you know, button to button just feels good. Didn't love the boss fights though, because I don't know if you noticed, Ralph couldn't fucking hard lock.
No, you can actually, but that's another example.
Really?
There is a hard lock in this game, but they didn't tutorialize it.
I asked the dev and he was like,
I know, but believe me, I know. I didn't know about it until a dev came up to me and was like, oh, by the way, you can hard lock. How?
I know how to hard lock, but I just
you have to have a helmet for hard locking.
Oh, so you could hard lock on... No, but
on small fights, but in the big robot fight, no hard lock.
Oh, the robot fight? No, sure. But I was talking about other, like the other... Did you do the other boss in the water, the Crowfather kind of boss fight? Did you do those?
No, because I spent like 10 times trying to defeat the robot boss. And went, let's just move on, play the end, just explore, bro.
That's a shame because the other 2 bosses were like, because that's a non-combat puzzle boss, the mech one, whereas the other ones are like proper boss.
You say non-combat. I tried to combat it for a while.
Yeah. Well, so look, yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know. Look, I think the preview cycle is going to be very rocky, and people are going to, because the embargo's up on like when this comes out, basically, which is Thursday morning, like 1 a.m. or some shit. But you know, everyone's gonna be like, oh, is this gonna be bad? Like, oh, there's so many. But I honestly just think everyone needs to chill and play and like just wait till the full reviews are out, and then we can tell you for real. Because I think that my suspicion is most of the previews are going to say there's a lot to be excited about here, a lot of promise, but the first couple of hours are very rocky. That's it, you know, and that's fair. And some games are like that, you know. Some games are truly like that.
I want to leave on 3 fun things because it's a game of so much. I tried to dot point some of the cool shit I saw. 3 points I'd leave on. We can do the Tears of the Kingdom skydives, you know, from the Sky Islands. Downside, it does cause a loading screen that causes the Sky Islands to despawn. Not seamless. You can unlock...
Nintendo did it better.
You can Tokyo drift your horses, because if you spend more than a couple of minutes on a horse, you unlock the horse handbrake. Fucking sick. Like, seriously, you take your horse at a gallop, do like a 90-degree turn.
Don't you think that'd be so cool if they did Fast and the Furious with horses? Like, they just I'm talking like...
I think Red Dead's going to take notes.
Yeah.
I didn't want that until now. I didn't realize that was something I needed.
It's nice. And for my third, what will I pick? I mean, there's a contextual interaction for goddamn everything in this game. It's not just as an aside.
One thing I appreciate, and I think we'll all appreciate as Australians, is that as you're walking around, random NPCs will call you a cunt.
Yes,
they just will.
This game does swearing good.
I'll just be
like, you'll just bump into someone and they'll be like, "Well, you're a cunt, aren't you?" And I'm like, all right.
This game does swearing well, and I said that to the developers, and they didn't quite understand what I was getting at. I was like, "No, we play a lot of video games where the swears are delivered so." This game it does it well. I laughed.
I agree that I agree that I actually noted in my preview that like the voice acting is surprisingly on point.
It's good.
Cliff
not
as
great,
a character is kind of boring, but his voice acting is very good, and the rest of the supporting cast, it really sounds like you're listening to Game of Thrones level sort of, not Game of Thrones dialogue, but certainly Game of Thrones delivery. It's very earthy, sort of, English people, Scotsmen, whatever, just sort of with a vibe that kind of just fits, and they've really done well with it, I think, for sure. So yeah,
Nice.
Interesting.
Very good. And this comes out soon, right?
March 20 for us in Australia.
Yeah, right.
Is that right?
Around the corner, yeah.
Excellent. Well, looking forward to watching Ralph's review on that one.
Sure.
Look, I as I said, I kind of, you get a feeling with games, right? I would say most of the time, 90% of the time, the feeling that you get from the jump is the right one, right? And I think I'm going to like this. That's where I'm betting. I think I'm going to like it. I'm really excited to play it. It's weird. It's ambitious, and very few games are as weird or ambitious as this. So I say good luck to them, and I'll certainly be like, I'll be cheering for it.
Did you get to visit the titular Crimson Desert, mate?
No, I didn't. I should have flown over there on my dragon, but I didn't. I just flew around actually on my dragon, blowing up the towns, because you can do that like GTA, but on a dragon, and then you get like a wanted rating and shit. It's actually pretty cool.
Jesus.
So yeah.
That's terrific.
Excellent. All right,
Marathon.
One more thing to talk about, and that's Marathon.
Okay.
Because this has become a bit of a sprint this episode. So let's
Jesus
talk.
Christ.
Let's talk Marathon.
That's right. This one's only a service slam. It's just
you guys have to put up with this every week, is it?
It's just a quick jog in the park, mate. Let's round her up.
Ridiculous. Yeah, so I think the three of us,
including Zach,
have played through the service slam.
It's not a point and click game, that's why, right? It's just, it was a point and click live service, mate.
Yeah,
100% lock it in, baby.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
Marathon's getting point and clicking too quick.
I'm gonna write that down.
Point and click live service.
He will bring that up again, Ralph. Yeah.
I think the kickoff I want, because Ralph, I know that you played Marathon a while back. You went and had a visit to the Bungie HQ and played it when it was in its previous state. So having played it back then versus this service slam, obviously there's been a lot of different things implemented, things changed, tweaked. How much of a different? Because I do watch your content, unlike some of us sitting here. How much has changed?
Man. I appreciate that.
How much has changed between then and now? And has your opinion of the game changed a great deal?
Look, I would say I've seen a lot of commentary being like, "Oh, it's so different now. They've really made it. It's so much better. They've changed so much." And I'm just like, I don't agree with that. I don't. I definitely acknowledge that. I think it looks sharper because they've got rid of this haze that was hanging over it in the initial thing, which has looked terrible, and it's sapped all the color out of it. I think that. I mean, other notable differences, like there's more content in terms of weapons and items now that I wasn't able to experience before, and that's kind of rounded out the like the overall moment to moment gameplay. But like overall, it's the same game, man. Like it really is. Like there's no single feature that I can point to and be like, oh, well, they've added that since then, and that's substantially better. Like there's nothing like that. No.
And Nathan, I think you and I, because obviously we didn't play it back in its previous state, which seemingly doesn't sound like it's awfully different. But so we probably, I don't know what, we sunk maybe 3.5 hours into it, just going through runs after runs. I think what I appreciated is, so obviously the comparisons are going to be between this and Arc Raiders, right? They're two extraction shooters. They've come out in close proximity to one another, but they are pretty vastly different. So Arc Raiders, you can have these social interactions. You don't always have to rely on combat. You can team up with other players. It can be an amicable thing. It's actually quite nice. You are most likely not going to get this in Marathon. It is a shoot on sight, fuck those dudes over there, they have shit that we want kind of situation.
Your guns are always primed for action.
Yeah. I think what I appreciate about that is it makes matches a bit snappier. So Arc Raiders, I feel, and it's something that a lot of extraction shooters have. You fuck around for 15 minutes, picking up a whole bunch of stuff, you get sniped, you're done, you have to rinse and repeat. We played 3 or 4 games of Marathon. Whether we extracted or we didn't, 5, 6, 7 minutes. You get into a firefight, grab some shit, and I think maybe that's the size of your backpack and the amount of shit that you can take with you is maybe a little bit smaller as well. But the matches definitely felt snappier. And I think, if anything, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I think at least there's a point of difference there between the two games, which I think it desperately needs if it's going to stand apart.
Yeah, like Marathon's almost always spawning you in or right next to PvP hotspots. Time between those hotspots seems very, very short. You're always pushed into condensed firefighting zones. Arc Raiders, I will spend considerable minutes at a time just circling around the periphery of a map, having a good time. Yeah. You don't do that here. Marathon, if you've survived 5 minutes in a game of Marathon, I feel like you're doing pretty fucking good, and you better start sweating. Like your time's running out. Arc Raiders, you've got 20 minutes where you can maybe comfortably mosey around if you're savvy.
Did you guys like it?
I liked it.
3 hours.
I liked it more than Nathan had a rough trot because he was playing with Kieran and Kieran's dog shit, apparently. I liked it more than I was expecting to. I don't think it's going to have the longevity of something like Arc Raiders, or I know it's not the same thing, but Battlefield 6, that's my go-to multiplayer game at the moment. It just has that feel that I like. I don't think it's going to hook me for anywhere near that long, but I enjoyed the loop enough where I want to explore the contract system a little bit more, see if that kind of beefs up each, round a little bit more. The ones that you experience in the Service Slam are pretty rudimentary. It's like kill X amount of things, smash X amount of windows, blah, 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 blah. But I was interested enough with the small portion that I got that I'll at least go back. But I'm getting the feeling like you're not super keen.
Doesn't sound like super like, oh, dude, but you weren't. It doesn't sound like a very enthusiastic. Like, I enjoyed it enough that I guess I will continue playing it.
That's what it is. That's though, where you're right. Like that is where I'm at. If I get 10 hours out of this, and then like I get to taste the end game because they're touting that there's going to be this end game experience. If I get to get into that, at least see what it's like, and then bounce, that's probably going to be me. I'm not sitting here saying that it's revolutionary or it's going to be my new multiplayer game, but I enjoyed it more than I was expecting to. But maybe that's just because my expectations were set rather low.
Yeah.
My quickfire thoughts is I like the form of its interfaces and its use of color, and I find it very attractive. I find it hard to navigate. I don't think that's necessarily a problem unique to this game. I think it's more of a Bungie problem. And the first couple of hours, I think, are a little tricky on board, and just kind of because of that. If you can persist, and the game does have a bit of a lackadaisical approach to onboarding, it just goes, just don't fucking worry about it. Just, we'll auto sell your junk, and you can always just use a sponsored kit. Don't worry about it. Okay, so going with that mindset, it wasn't too bad. My second thought was I don't like that this is what's happened. This is what's happened. I don't like what has happened to Destiny 2 in order to give us this. Doesn't feel like it was it's a monkey's paw. It's a transaction I don't love. That's the world we're in. That's all I've got to say.
So, will you play this game?
Yeah, well, Zach's got a gun to my head, but
but like after you, like, are you looking forward to reviewing it? Like, are you looking forward to 30, 40 hours to do it?
Every time I would play an hour of this, I'd wash my mouth out with a bit of Arc Raiders. So we'll see. We'll see.
Jesus. Oh my God.
I was like,
if I was a Bungie developer, I'd be like this.
I need some friends, bro. I make the mistake of in Marathon. I'll be like, oh, are you friendly? You friendly, bro? Just giving away your position, they murk you in the head. You do that in Arc Raiders, you make a friend.
In like 10 or 12 hours of play, I never heard one person using box chat. Not one.
No, I wasn't. I was shoot first, ask questions later.
I was trying.
My preview is for this is going up tonight actually, and the title is just like, I'm just not feeling it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am just not feeling Marathon, and I desperately want to feel it. I love Bungie. I'm like ride or die with them. But I really gave this a solid shot over, the trip to Bungie HQ, and I played the alpha and I played this, and I have really, really tried to enjoy it, but I just don't. I'm just not into it. I just think it's ultimately a very simple team shooter, and that's it. Like, there's really nothing else. Like, it's. I think obviously it's an extraction shooter, but I think realistically the landmarks on the map feel like multiplayer maps, right? In terms of their like structure and configuration and their sort of intricate nature and all this sort of stuff, they don't really feel like true. Like in Arc Raiders, there's a weapons factory, a fucking launching pad for a rocket. Stella Montes is this massive mountainside. What like there's such identity to every inch of the map on all the maps in Thingo. Everything that I've experienced so far in Marathon just feels all the same. No matter where I am, it feels like I'm playing in the same space. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I think visually it struggles with identity. Even though it's got lots of color, you kind of stop seeing that color because the color is not like smartly deployed to create a sense of place. It's just like everything is sprayed with color, and then the environments all feel the same. TTK is very low. It's shoot on sight. No one is really trying to help each other. There are no interesting social interactions as a result of that. The PvE enemies are not fun to fight. They're challenging, but they're not fun or interesting because they're all just about throughput. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, do you have enough guns and enough ammo to break through their shields and pop them? It's not like Arc Raiders where it's like, oh, have you got this type of ammo and in this position, and can you circle round and can you like knock his leg out so that he's like flailing around like Ed 209 in RoboCop, and you're like, cool, I've got him now. Do you know what I mean? Like, all of those little things that kind of add to the texture of a game, I just don't feel like Marathon has it, and even just like events on the map. Like, what events are there? There's one event where you kind of press a button and then like 30 seconds later something drops from orbit and you can loot it. There's one event where you kind of have to find some annoying panels hidden around these places and just like find the number that matches. I mean, I know there's some other like higher level stuff where you need to like find a key somewhere and put it, but like none of it is particularly interesting. None of it holds a candle to fighting a leaper in Arc Raiders or doing an extraction in Hunt Showdown and like, banishing a boss and doing that and holding out. And dude, that's the bread and butter for me when I play those games. Even just a simple thing like exploration. It's just not here in Marathon. You're not really exploring these maps. You're kind of just looting the place in front of you because it's empty. And then you head over to another spot where you're going to team fight. Like, that's what that is, right?
Yeah.
I know this is hitting for people. I can see the positive buzz. I'm not here to tell you that like Marathon sucks, because it's hitting. There's a critical mass of people who are into this. There's pre-orders happening. There's positive buzz for sure, but I'm just nowhere near that personally. I'm really not. I think it's Bungie's job to make a game that feels like a Bungie game, that can welcome in more casual players, that offers a broader base of experiences. That's not just a single thing, right? I was interested for Bungie to create this very unique spin on the extraction shooter that can lure in people who wouldn't typically play this. And it turns out, Embark made that game, and then Bungie just made a straight up and down team shooter. That's it, Having said that, there's like another map launching, and so like, maybe that's a game changer. I don't know. But I'm of the view that like, if you have one good map and two not good maps, then there's a big problem with your game. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it'd be an insane turnaround for that one map to change all of your thoughts on the game.
Correct.
So I don't think it's going to do it for you. But you know what, Ralph? I hope for you that it does.
I really do hope that. Like I said that in my previous, like, I want to be turned around on this. I really am. I'm not out here to hate for hate's sake. It's so easy to do that. I'm just being honest. I just am not interested in this. I just am really, and I think as well, it's such a shame because like none of my Destiny playlist, people who I've played Destiny with for years, not a single one of them logged into Marathon. We're talking people who spent 80, 90 hours a week for years playing Destiny. They would not log into Marathon. I can see them all on my Steam list. It's like, Bungie's just building an entirely different game for an entirely different player base and made no effort whatsoever to welcome in their existing players. None. And I'm just like, that just feels like such a bad idea. a terrible idea, you know. So yeah, man, I'm not about it personally. I don't know. Did anything I say there feel like you're like, I agree with you on that? The levels,
I was sympathetic to everything you said. I still retain a little bit more optimism.
Sure.
That maybe with a little bit more exposure, I'll be a little more appreciative. But nothing you said was illegitimate. I think me and Adam probably saw it all.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you said, Nathan. I got a good first impression, but my fear was that impression was the entire game. That I could play that Server Slam, and I've seen everything that I'm going to see, and nothing else is going to keep me there. So, the little flash in the pan 3.5 hours, if I have positive memories of that, maybe just leave it there and don't, tarnish it by putting another 10 hours in and, having that shit the bed. So, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am going to do it, regardless of the fact that I said I just wasn't going to. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Marathon.
What do you guys? You reckon it's going to pop off? You reckon it's going to work?
Short term, yes. I don't see it having longevity, though. Something tells me that the end game isn't going to be as engaging as maybe I'm hoping it will be. I don't see it having the legs that Arc Raiders does.
Day one concurrent player count on Steam peak. What's your estimate? Go. And you can revisit it next week on the podcast. What do you reckon it's peaking at day one?
160.
Okay.
I'll say 210.
Okay. I will say 45,000.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay.
Is this Price is Right rules though? If you go over, do one of us win? Is that how that works?
That's how it works. Absolutely.
46 and Nathan's there. Yes, we've done it. Yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll see. We'll circle back to this.
Just quickly, based on that, Ralph, do you think this is going to have a bigger player base on console than PC? Based on your answer?
No, definitely not. Extraction shooting is a PC genre.
Yeah.
I think you'll get some people for sure, but like if you're playing an extraction shooter, you're probably playing it on PC, And again, if this was a game that was appealing to Bungie's console Destiny audience, then I would say I'll give you a different answer, because Destiny's audience is very, very weighted towards consoles. But this is not a game that appeals to that audience. So you're just really starting from scratch, Yeah. So yeah. We'll see. It peaked at 145,000 players when the game was free.
Oh.
So
feeling good, Adam?
Oh, top notch, mate. Absolutely.
But this is the thing, right? If the word of mouth is there, because I think Arc Raiders peaked at 185,000 when it was free, right? If the word of mouth is there, the people will come. They will buy the game, and off it will go. And Arc Raiders ended up peaking at I think nearly 500,000 peak concurrents, and now sold 14 million units, right? So if that word of mouth is there, people will come. But I don't think this Server Slam is delivering that kind of feedback loop. I think that there is a small group of people who really fuck with this, but I think there are a lot of people who don't hate it. Like, I'm in that bucket. I don't hate this. I'm not just like, but I'm just like, it's just not for me, Yeah. And I think Arc Raiders tricks you into loving it despite what you expect. Whereas I don't think this tricks you at all. I just think it's like, well, this is it. Do you want it or not? And a lot of people are like, they're going to be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. Alrighty. Well, we've only got you for a couple more minutes because I know you got to take off. So I've got 2 questions for you. Maybe we'll talk news once you leave, but I do want to know very, very quick. This is, give us 30 seconds. What your thoughts are on the whole Phil Spencer resigning, Sarah Bond leaving, future of Xbox.
Hard question to answer in this length time, but also simple in the fact that, mate, we don't know. We've got no idea. They're talking about going back to console, and they're like, console's important to us, blah blah blah. It's like no part of the rest of their business is aligned behind that goal, right? It doesn't make sense. They're talking about their console being a PC hybrid. They're talking about everything is an Xbox. They're talking about they're not going to make COD a console exclusive. So if you've got no exclusives, then, what are you going to make exclusive? The next Double Fine game, like Keeper 2, is going to sell consoles for you? That's not how this works. Do you know what I mean? So none of it really aligns, and I can't see it. I think that Asha is very new to this world of video games, and I honestly am not prejudging her. I think a lot of people are like giving her a lot of shit because she's not a gamer and has no background. But I'm like, let's give her a chance. You know what I mean? She's obviously smart. Let's see how she goes. She's stepping into this world and she's getting a lot of questions thrown at her. I don't know. Maybe you say stuff like console is the center of Xbox, whereas then the reality hits you in the face when it comes to quarterly planning meeting, and it's actually like, well, they also say in that they're like, we're going to meet players where they are. It's like, well, which one is it? Because players are not on your machine. Yeah. They're not there, right? So which one is it? So I think, yeah, long story short, I'm just going to keep an open mind. I hope Xbox does make some moves. But honestly, I just think they're a third-party publisher. I park it there. I'm okay with that. And I think that that's fine. They have a lot of IP. They have a lot of studios and stuff. It's okay. As long as they manage that stuff well, I think that's where they're going to fit into this ecosystem going forward. That's my guess.
Cool. All right, second question. We're going to skip to 2000's film of the week.
Okay. All right, I got one. It's a good one.
I hope so.
So I'm going to read the synopsis, and you got to guess it. Okay. All right. I'm not going to. All right. So I'm going to need to block out some stuff here. Okay.
Yeah. As we get jazzy with it. All right. Yep.
In a small town, an awkward teen has trouble fitting in. After his grandmother is injured in an accident, his life is made even worse when his strangely nostalgic uncle shows up to keep an eye on him. With no safe haven at home or school, he befriends a new kid, a morose boy who speaks little English. And I think the next thing is going to give it away. But so I'll just pause there. Any clue? Any hints? Any ideas so far?
Yeah, I was all on board for Napoleon Dynamite, but I feel like I'm off base.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
He befriends in a small. Did you? Okay. In a small town in Preston, Idaho, awkward teen Napoleon Dynamite has trouble fitting in. After his grandmother is injured in an accident, his life is made even worse when his strangely nostalgic uncle Rico shows up to keep an eye on him. With no safe haven at home or school, Napoleon befriends the new kid Pedro, a morose Hispanic boy who speaks little English. Together, they launch a campaign to run for class president.
I only saw a vote for Pedro's shirt walking around the other day, and it makes me smile every fucking time. Great film. Love it.
Fantastic Mormon cinema right here. I mean, it really is the hype.
Great pick, mate. Nicely done.
Really put Jamiroquai's Can't Hate on the map, eh? Is that not the song that they danced to at the end?
I don't remember the song they danced to, actually. Yeah, I remember the dance, but I can't remember the song. I remember the
Jamiroquai.
Was it really? Okay, right.
It's not the first time Jamiroquai has been on this podcast, which is weird to think about.
We love it.
Jesus Fantastic. Christ. Really? Nicely done,
Ralph. All right, thank you for joining us. Pleasure as always. Looking forward to the next chat, and enjoy the rest of your evening, my friend.
Cool. All right, thanks, boys. See you later. Bye.
Ciao.
All righty.
Oh, whoop, hang on. Are you bitching about me? I'm back. I'm leaving. Oh,
okay. He's gone. All right.
He's just checking in to see if you've watched these videos yet.
I do watch them. It just takes me a little bit of time.
You just got to do like me, mate. Spend more time on the toilet. Then you'll start putting in the time.
Oh, yeah, mate, that's prime chill up hours.
Well, see, this is Supercoach season, baby. This is football season. So I'm on the throne, making trades, doing team strategies. You know how it is.
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. All right, well, Adam, do you want to quickly talk Key Fairy, or would you like to chat about that next week?
We'll talk next week for Key Fairy, because I want to give that the platform it deserves. But I've got more news for you if you want some more news.
Oh, mate, I would love to hear it.
It's unfortunate news because Sony has closed Bluepoint Games. So this came from Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. He made me fucking subscribe, the bastard. And it was then later confirmed by Sony themselves. So this is the studio that is renowned for doing remakes and remasters. So they've done like the Nathan Drake collection, the God of War trilogy, not the new one, but the the remaster version, but they're probably most well known for the Shadow of the Colossus and the Demon's Souls remakes, both of which are completely critically and commercially successful. I think everyone can agree that they do a fantastic job of remaking games, but managing to keep hold of what made them special. I think particularly for something like Shadow of the Colossus, which is such a ridiculous cult classic, and it was kind of a sacrilege thing to even go back and retouch it. They treated it with respect, and I think they made the fan base very happy. Difficult thing to do, so you'd assume very talented studio, right? Nah, fuck them. All 70-odd people now out of a job. According to reports, they were working on a live service God of War title, which to me does not scream Bluepoint. And when Sony's live service push went the way of the dinosaur, so too has Bluepoint. Since our news piece went live, there's been further reports. There's been rumors for a while, but that they had pitched to do a Bloodborne remake, and that was unfortunately shot down not by Sony, but by From Software. So I've seen it pop up a whole bunch across the internet as well, that they pitched a whole shitload of things, I'd say probably to get themselves out of the live service muck and mire, but none of them stuck. And now the studio is no more, which is a real shame.
It is. It's poor of Sony to do this. And I think I read, I don't know where I read it, but I read that apparently this could be wrong. So don't, because I can't remember where I read this, but I swear it was like a legit source. But apparently people had inquired about whether they could like take on Bluepoint or something like that. I don't know in what capacity, like as in all the workers would move to a new studio, for example. But yeah, I believe right. I read that. But yeah, this sucks. But it's also, I don't know what to say. Nothing here is, it's not new, right? Yes, the live service thing was new, but you've got Bloodborne, right? You've got that. They've already done a Shadow of the Colossus. They've done this. I would have loved to see them make it something their own, but clearly Sony felt that maybe they didn't have the zhuzh to kind of do that. It's also been reported that that we've known about the Bloodborne stuff for a while, in the sense that they were always going to say no because old mate doesn't want anyone to touch it but himself, right?
Yeah.
Yoshida apparently said that a while back. We shit on, and this kind of aligns with the piece back because we haven't talked about that yet, but the whole Xbox Phil Spencer, his legacy, I think is pretty average, really. When you look at it over the journey and what he's actually done, and I think the impact that he's had, right? The impact that he's had, I think you can't ignore the impact of Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan is lucky he's gone from that role, but I think that his live service legacy has fucked it in a lot of ways for a lot of these developers. I think they're making a God of War live service game. Why the fuck did everything have to be a fucking live service game? You know what I mean? In saying that, I do think that Sony probably could have found somewhere for this team to be or to end up. It's kind of like they had that, what was that thing they had? The PlayStation first party studio thingy that they had, the thing in, it was like a specialist, like a technical studio thing that they closed. Remember they were working on something?
Oh, yeah.
You know
so
what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're referencing.
I can't remember what they're called, but they were all apparently really, really talented, really, really talented people, and then gone. Poof.
I think that's the thing that shits me the most, right? Is yes, they had a crack at a live service title. The live service bubble burst. I don't think it was really ever there to begin with. There's Fortnite, there's Apex, there's Roblox. You just you're not going to compete with that. And to think that you can is fucking ridiculous. It's exactly what you just said. It's okay, that didn't work out. The fact that they didn't see the value in Bluepoint moving to something else is fucking wild. Because they've also been a support studio for some massive games, including God of War Ragnarok. So it's for that game to ship on time and the quality that it was, you could not have done that without Bluepoint Games. they clearly had pedigree there, and the fact that they didn't see the value in that to move them on to something else. And I get it, right? They're a business. They spent, it would have been 5 years because they acquired them in 2021, a year after Demon's Souls released. They went, fuck, you're great. You're really good at this. We'll bring you on board. 5 years, nothing to show for it. It's a massive loss. I get that. But to not see the future value in this team is insane to me. Like, genuinely, that's wild.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think, you know, you look at Sony's fucking locked cupboard of fucking IPs. I think there's heaps that they could have maybe have worked on. Like,
absolutely.
I think Siphon Filter is a really good one that we've never ever seen, and we'll probably never see again. And look, maybe I'm just, you know, craving a remake that's never wanted by anyone other than like 16 other people. But I think, you know, there's heaps of stuff that. I think that they could have worked on it, and you're right, even just supporting another studio. But
yeah,
what the fuck do we know, right?
Exactly. Thank God Haven's still about. Is there anything that either of you wanted to jump in on with the Xbox news? Because yeah, to recap, Phil Spencer has retired after 38 years. He's being replaced by Asha Sharma, who is the former president of Core AI for Microsoft. And Sarah Bond has seemingly fucking vanished. She is saying that she has stepped down. Everything is pointing towards that maybe more of a tap on the shoulder kind of situation, or just the seeing how things are playing out. She wasn't going to get promoted, so she's decided to fuck off, I think is kind of the end and short of it. And Matt Booty, who is the former head of Xbox Game Studios, is stepping in to be Chief Content Officer for Microsoft Gaming.
Doesn't his name have a
So
T?
massive shakeups. It does, yes. It does.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to just fact check that.
I didn't think I was originally going to be reading out the news, if that helps you at all.
It doesn't. Nathan, do you do you have any thoughts on this before I go off on a little whinge rant?
I really don't, man. I'm kind of with what Ralph said earlier. It's a bit of a wait and see, right?
Yeah.
Wait
I think just to touch on the maybe not so much the future, but maybe the what's happened, right? I believe Phil. I think he's been thinking about it for a while. I think that part. I think the timing is the way it's all played. I think indicates that it was maybe sped up. Yeah, that's because it's weird, right? Because this is like the 25-year anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's weird, right? That part doesn't make any sense to me. That's the thing that makes me go, okay, well, this has clearly been, you know, pushed forward. You know, let's just get it done. Because why would you not have the CEO who's led you through the last fucking 10 plus years, and who's seemingly, I don't want to say saved the business, but you know, he's turned it around to what it is now. Like, why would he not be around for the 25th anniversary? And it just feels very like, hey, fucking, I'm out the door Monday, right? And I work for a business that has a CEO, right? Or in a way like a CEO. It's not called that, but it's the same kind of thing, right?
They got a C-suite.
When that person announced their departure, it was like, again, instant. Now that the new person's come in, you kind of got a little bit of a whiff that it was planned, right? It was, you know, it was something's not. It's just it's not working. And I think, I don't know. I actually feel for Bond a little bit, for Sarah Bond. I think she's maybe been out to be made the scapegoat a tiny bit.
Absolutely.
Again, we don't really know what's played out. And I don't really care if Asha Sharma, sorry, if she's a gamer or not, really. Like, it doesn't, I don't, that, because they're fucking top level. I think it would be good, but I don't think it really matters too much, right? In the position that they're in, they don't really, they don't care.
I would say that's probably an apt statement, yes.
And yeah, I think, you know, Ralph is right. Like, what she said versus what they've kind of been, you know, playing at the last while, it just nothing lines up. But then also, I think maybe is this the turn? Is this the moment that they've gone, you know what? It's not, you know, the console's not fucking selling. Like, we need to start, if we're gonna be making new consoles, we need to sell them. So maybe, but it's such a strange thing to be like, the game's going to be everywhere to then pull them back and be like, actually, you know what? We've changed our mind. That part's all a bit strange. So,
right? Like, can you put that genie back in the bottle? Because like after the fact, it was kind of reported on and rumored and speculated that Sarah Bond was kind of like the figurehead for the whole everything as an Xbox campaign, which it irked people, right? Because it's like, well, if everything's an Xbox, why the fuck do I want to buy an Xbox and be a part of that platform? Can you go back to, all right, this next Xbox is just an Xbox? Because if they keep going down the whole, oh, it's a hybrid PC console thing, that's not indicative of riding the ship back to a more console focus. Because it's just PC gaming with a big X on it, right? Similar with the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X Super Ultra, whatever the fuck it's called. So can you go back to that? And like, we've got Master Chief on a PlayStation, or we soon will. Like, you can't undo that. So is there a world where we go back to Xbox exclusives? Can we?
I've said from day one of this, I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. Day one of their acquisition spree, right? That they should have timed exclusives. I think that is the smart move, is that you give people an incentive to want to buy an Xbox. All right, cool. I'm going to get, and you kind of get the goodwill, right? So in a way, like you get like, cool, we're going to buy Doom, but we're not going to gatekeep it from you forever. 12 months, 6 months, like whatever it may be, right? Like a good period where it's like, if you want to play this day one, I think what's fucked him is Game Pass, personally. I think there's a little bit of that, like this whole game day and date on Xbox, on Xbox, on Game Pass has hurt them, because you can't really go back from that. And we've seen them try to find ways to make more money from that, because they're obviously not selling games, right? Games aren't selling because people are just playing them on Game Pass. That's why there's new tiers of Game Pass. That's why to play the games on day one now, you can't just have the basic Game Pass. You've got to have fucking premium or ultimate or whatever the fuck it is. And even premium might not get you every game or something. I don't know the tiers, to be fair, but anyway, I think that's what they should have done from the start. And then you get the windfall in the back half of the financial year from all the PlayStation people buying it. But again, I'm not a CEO, so
I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like for Xbox. I think what Ralph was saying of them being a third party, just like a publishing house, seems like the most realistic way of going about it. But then, this new CEO comes in and kind of says everything to the contrary. But like you said, Zach, I'm also in the position where I work for a massive corporation. They have CEOs, they have the C-suite. They say lots of things. CEOs say all sorts of shit. They're not accountable for any of it. Realistically, they can say whatever they like. It gets swept under the rug. They can do something else. So we just don't know. Like Ralph said, it is exactly. So I don't know. We just have to wait and see at the end of the day.
On the publishing thing, I think it makes the most sense. I'd be disappointed, not because I'm an Xbox fan, but I think that we need the competition. I think that's I think it's healthier for the industry to have multiple strong platforms. Otherwise, it's just Sony and Nintendo, and they can just do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, Sony, they basically do whatever the fuck they want anyway, because Xbox is so far on its knees and stuff that it doesn't matter. But I think a healthy and a strong Xbox just creates a bit more competition. Anyway, let's move on from this, because it's old.
Yes, mate. Speaking of Nintendo, because you did speak life into their name, they had the big old Pokemon Presents, like the showcase for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. I think overall it was fine to maybe a little underwhelming. I don't know. I haven't done a temperature check, but it hit the touch points. They talked about champions. They introduced a few new things. There's new cards, all of that stuff. But the only thing that anyone gave a fuck about was the 10th generation of Pokemon, which was announced. So it'll be Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves will be the next mainline games in the series. The main important thing is that it will be a Switch 2 exclusive, so we're not going to have another hopefully another Scarlet Violet situation of the performance just being absolutely dog ass. So Fingers crossed that isn't the case. It is targeting 2027, so it's got a slightly longer development time than we've seen in the last few entries. So, it's all decent looking things. It's got like an island vibe. There's maybe some underwater bits and pieces going on. They announced the starters, Brout, Pombon, and Gekwa. They're cute as fuck. I think they're the best looking starters we've had in quite a while. I think it's been fairly well received. I can't say I've, got my ears to the ground within the Pokemon community, but it looked pretty good to me. I don't suppose either of you boys give too much of a shit about these Pokemon games.
Nope.
I'll get them, but no, I haven't chatted to my resident Pokemon basement goblin, see how he's feeling.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we've all got one, don't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got them on speed dial just in case.
Yeah.
It's worth having.
I'm excited for them.
Yeah, it looked, it was a strong first showing. So we'll just, the Pokemon Company and Game Freak tend to overshare with the Pokemon games, so we'll probably hear more about them in the next couple of months anyway. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Something else that we'll definitely get sooner rather than later is Wolverine. Won't spend too much time on this. It got a release date of September 15th, completely fucking out of nowhere. It was effectively like a GIF that they posted to their social medias, being like, hey, we don't want to wait anymore. September 15th. There you go. Why they didn't do that at the State of Play a couple of weeks ago, I have absolutely no fucking clue. Very weird.
They must not be... I don't know. Like, it's either... I think it's maybe two parts. Maybe they didn't have any collateral ready, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Maybe they couldn't get a trailer done in time. I don't know. Or maybe because of the leaks earlier, they don't want to show anything off.
I'm thinking as well, like, you want to get out of the blast zone of potential GTA, right? Like, as every fucking game does. Anything that's above an indie needs to be well clear of it. So it's either you come out in September, gives you a little buffer, or it's next year. Like, you can't really slot in anywhere there. So maybe it's just, I don't want to say that Insomniac are slave drivers, but they may just be in complete fucking mega crunch mode. And at the final hour, they're like, yeah, look, we can probably get it out on September 15th. I don't know. It struck me as odd.
But that doesn't answer the question, why not show it off?
That's baffling.
Bizarre. Yeah, like truly,
it's
probably their most anticipated first-party game that we know of. Maybe other than Intergalactic, perhaps, but we know that that's probably a ways off. That's coming soon. And just fucking, here you go, boys.
Zero
here's the date.
fanfare.
Yeah.
Bizarre. It was really weird. It was really, really weird.
Agreed.
The last thing to touch on, Sony related as well. Amazon has revealed the first look at the God of War series. So it's a still. It shows Ryan Hurst as Kratos and Callum Vinson as Atreus.
As Bulla.
Yeah, this hasn't gone over particularly well. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was AI generated to begin with. I spoke to Ash about this a couple of days ago, but like, there's no lighting to it. Like, it's completely flat. It's just a flat image. They kind of look like they're in cosplay. Because of that, there's nothing done in post. It just looks awkward, but also it's a first, like, they only just announced casting, right? So that's like, fucking, let's just chuck some shit on there, make them look half like the characters, take a photo, whack it on the internet to build hype. Unfortunately, I think maybe it's done the opposite of that, but it's hard to judge because I do really think that, shit going through post-production does a lot. So we'll have to wait and see.
I think it wouldn't really matter who they showed. I think that given the love for this franchise, I think it would probably... Yep. It's the same thing with the whole Lara Croft thing, right? Like Lara Croft in the new TV show? Movie.
Yep. I think it's a TV show.
Is it Sophie Turner, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I think she looks great, but apparently I'm a fucking idiot.
Nah. Thought folks were supportive.
Really? I thought they were like, oh, it doesn't... Well, maybe I was thinking of the...
my bubble says chiffon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because I think we might be in the same bubble, but I think there's a...
Yeah, we might be in the same.
There's a section of the internet that's like, where's the tits?
Yes,
Where's the fucking Jolie lips? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially
how am I
that
gonna
hates
fucking
women, mate,
how am I gonna jack off to this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
See?
but
I heard an interesting take. It may have been on Kind of Funny. I'm not 100% sure, but particularly with the God of War thing, is God of War 2018 and Ragnarok look so phenomenally good that it is difficult for an actor to step into that role. Like, you're not, it's not
It's
if
not
they
abstract.
made. Yeah, and it's not like, reviving something that's pixelated as fuck or, low poly, low quality models, so you can kind of approximate it. Kratos looks like a person. Like, you play God of War 2018, you can imagine seeing that person in real life. He'd be a complete fucking monster, but you can envision it. So Ryan Hurst stepping into it, he doesn't look exactly like Kratos, so of course there's going to be a bit of like friction there.
I mean, it's the same with The Last of Us, right? Like Bella Ramsey and
Yeah, exactly. That's
sorry,
another great example.
I forgot
Pedro
Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal.
No, not Pedro. He gets. I think he gets a pass because he was cool at the time. But who's the other girl who played?
Oh, Dina.
No, not Dina. Fucking.
No.
Oh, I can't remember the
Abby.
name. Abby.
Oh, Abby.
Yeah.
People got in their socks about that. Like, when
That's a tricky one, that one.
When we went and watched Resident Evil, whatever the fuck that shit film was, and Leon was bloody.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
And Leon had
was
bloody long black hair, and it was just like, I felt the way that these people felt. Anyway, let's wait to watch the show.
Yep.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
How am I going to jack off to that? How am I going to jack off to that Leon Kennedy? That's how I felt.
It was the long hair that upset you. I thought it was the fact they made him a fucking buffoon at every opportunity.
Yeah. It was they didn't.
It was a clown.
They did my boy dirty.
They did.
Poor Leon. He deserves more.
Well,
that's it for the news.
We don't want any Zach Jacksons.
Well, actually,
this.
I got one little 30-second line. It's not even going to be 30 seconds, but just published today. Well, you don't fucking put it in here, brother. Aussie made game Lone Pine is getting a demo end of the month, March 25th, I think, for Australia. So check that out. If you went to PAX, you got to check that little section. This will be the first actual level, if you want to call it that. It's the first section of the game. So, look out for that. And that is my news.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, let's quickly go through off topics and then we'll get the fuck out of here. Who wants to go?
Oh, no. Solid off topics. I've got two quick things. Only one quick thing. I've jumped back into Overwatch because Ash is a bad influence. And I just wanted to see what the hubbub was about with them dropping the 2 and putting a whole bunch of new shit in. My main takeaway is that it runs really nice on the Steam Deck. That's the only real takeaway that I do have here. It's still fun. I still have the nostalgia for it, and the characters that I like are still cool. It's not going to be my daily driver. It's not going to get me away from Battlefield 6, which, Nathan, I don't know about you, but it is feeling about that time of day. But yeah, for a game that looks as nice and is as chaotic as Overwatch is, good on Blizzard for having it optimized enough to run on a Steam Deck. That's my off topic.
Great.
Number 2. Did I miss number 1? Am I stupid?
Nah, I think
two things.
He did.
Nah, I'd scrapped the other one. I've only got one.
Okay,
like Overwatch, I've gotten rid of the 2.
That's good. Real good. Real good. I thought you were going to go with a scrappy Arc Raiders joke there, but I mean, I don't know what it would have been, but
I've made worse jokes.
Yours was better.
Thanks, mate.
Nathan?
Yeah, look, I'm not watching much lately, but my one weekly watch is, or actually no, I've got 2 things. Industry on HBO. It's more of that like Skins Euphoria type shit, except rather than being teenagers, they're like late 20-year-olds trying to one-up each other in the world of finance. I fucking love it. And this season 4, second last season, has been its best in my opinion. And it's got, in my opinion, Kit Harington's strongest role. Not that Kit Harington's known for much outside of Game of Thrones, but this is like definitely his best role in a fucking.
Have you seen Eternals, mate? Come on.
I have seen Eternals, mate. And I'm back on One Piece finally. So I'm starting what's called the third arc of Wano because that's a lot of fun. But
let's go! I'm so excited.
I saw Zach die a little inside when I said that. So
we need to have conversations once you finish the full Wano arc, because towards the end, there's the best fight in the entire series.
So even though it says I've started the third act, I've still got at least 100 episodes to go in that act.
Absolutely.
I hate you. Well, I checked out the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. Bad. I also... No, mate, come on.
Have you seen Scream yet?
No. I have some self-respect.
Oh, what the fuck? No, I'm not standing for that.
What did he say?
Oh my god. He said he has some self-respect. Get fucked, mate.
I'm not hearing anything good about this new one, eh?
Neither am I, but you should still go and watch it, because, I mean, what are we doing?
There's so much good shit on in the cinemas right now.
I'm keen for the new Scary Movie. I don't know when that's coming.
Did you see the trailer?
Did you see I watched the trailer tonight? Yeah.
Hanson doing long legs with his fucked up little hand.
No, I've not seen it, but fuck, I want to watch it now.
Do the trailer. Watch the trailer.
Fuck. What's the second thing? It's Beauty.
Take my strong hand.
TV series The Beauty on HBO.
With Ashton Kutcher.
No,
it's Disney.
Disney.
It's Disney.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, but kind of interesting and neat. I'm at the end, I think, ish, maybe two eps. That's kind of cool. And Shrinking is just rad. So, did start watching a new
Scandinavian crime noir.
Yeah, I want to say Scandinavian. But I don't think we stuck with it. And then we did start to watch. I think it's called In the Marsh or Salt Marsh or something like that. It's on Binge because we just got access to Binge. It's a Scottish thing, I think.
There's still stuff on
Welsh.
Binge? Damn.
Well, we got access to it.
Under Salt Marsh.
Smooth.
Under Salt Marsh. Okay, cool. No. Like, it is legit. It's Anna's parents. Anyway, footy season's back, so let's fucking go. And before we hit to the outro, keep an eye on the old YouTubes in the next couple of weeks. There might be something little cheeky going up, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't.
I'm sure they won't know what you're saying.
It might beat you up.
Smooth.
Now we're going rogue. Like
Jesus Christ.
All right. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the WellPlayed DLC podcast. You can check out the content on www.well-played.com.au. You can check out all the news and reviews and other bullshit we put up. You can go to the YouTube and go to wellplayed_au. Check out Adam's WWE content, which we haven't even talked about, but that's up there. Shout outs to 2K for not letting us monetize those. You can also go to Blue Sky and go to @WellPlayed. That's that. And then you can go to Twitter and go wellplayed_au as well, and Facebook's in there. Other than that, lovely to see you. Shout outs to Ralph. Who's going to go check out Resident Evil Requiem? Adam, I know that when you can get a copy.
When I can find one.
Nathan, you got any plans to check it out soon? Or
fucking oath. I almost wanted to pipe up a little bit there and be like, because you guys are talking about 7 and 8, and I revisited 7 and 8. On first impressions, I loved 7. 8 was fine. On a return, I think 7's not so good, and 8 is awesome.
Yes, let's go.
Should have thrown that in.
Fucking awesome.
I didn't want to open that can of worms.
Nope.
Yeah,
fair.
Fair.
I was intimidated.
That's
fair call. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Catch ya.
Requiem.
Fuck off, Nathan. Fuck directly off.